Friends Moon's South Pole is a place where no human-made object has trundled before. Last week, however, the Pragyan rover slid down a ramp from its mothership, India's Vikram lander, and began exploring the region around the Moon's South Pole. The uncrewed spacecraft is something of a pioneer, the first to make a soft landing in the frigid, crater-strewn lunar polar landscape. Whereas the Apollo missions of the 1960s and 70s primarily set down near the Moon's equator, the lander from India's Chandrayaan 3 mission successfully touched down about 370 miles from the lunar South Pole, closer than any spacecraft has been to this location. It arrived hot on the heels of a failed Russian attempt 2 days earlier, the Luna 25 spacecraft, which span out of control and crashed. India's mission is the start of a rush of activity at this enigmatic part of the lunar surface that will ultimately see humans set foot there later this decade. Alongside India and Russia, both the US and China have their sights set on the Moon's South Pole. There they hope to investigate some of the Moon's most intriguing mysteries and perhaps even exploit what they find. But what is it about the Moon's South Pole that has made it so attractive to these visitors? The Vikram lander, pictured here by the Pragyan rover, is the first spacecraft to touch down at the Moon's South Pole. Already, Chandrayaan 3 and its suitcase-sized rover have sent back a few tantalizing hints of the strange environment they find themselves in. Traveling at around 1 centimeter, 0.4 inches, every second across the dusty surface, the Pragyan rover has edged itself several meters away from its mothership. Burrowing its sensors into the lunar soil along the way, the rover has revealed a curiously sharp drop in temperature beneath the surface. At the surface, it measured a temperature of around 50 C, 120 F, but just 80 millimeters, 3 inches, below this, it fell to -10 C, 14 F, a temperature difference that has surprised scientists. Onboard chemical analysis equipment has also indicated the presence of sulfur, aluminium, calcium iron, titanium, manganese, chromium and oxygen in the lunar soil. Both of these early findings hint at why scientists are eager to explore the south polar region of the Moon. The Moon's shallow axis of rotation, 1.5 degrees compared to Earth's 23.5 degrees, means some craters at its poles never see sunlight. Coupled with low temperatures in these locations, scientists believe this has resulted in an abundance of ice, much of it made of water, that is either mixed into the soil or exposed on the surface. There are hopes that the ice could be used as both a resource for astronauts and a springboard for future scientific discoveries. Sometimes dubbed craters of eternal darkness, permanently shadowed regions are angled in such a way that the sun's rays never reach their innards, meaning they have potentially stored ice for billions of years. Other data points to a higher reflectance at the poles, a likely result of ice, while a higher amount of hydrogen at the poles has been observed, perhaps a result of water ice. These recent discoveries of water ice have spurred a renewed interest in exploring the Moon, and in particular, its South Pole. India's lander and rover will now allow scientists to test theories that lunar researchers have been proposing about water ice presence in the lunar soil. While Chandrayaan 3's data will be useful, it is later missions that will land closer to the South Pole that scientists are particularly excited about. Here, there are craters known as permanently shadowed regions, PSRs. 3 lunar mysteries like temperatures in PSRs might drop below -200 C, making them prime locations to look for ice. A NASA rover set to head to the Moon's South Pole in late 2024, called Viper, will drive into some of these PSRs, switching on headlights to shed light, literally, on their secrets. The mission should tell us if there are blocky chunks of ice. These are not the only missions targeting the Moon's South Pole, though. A follow-up Indian mission in partnership with Japan, Chandrayaan 4, will also head here, while China has signaled its intent to land in this region and Russia has another planned South Pole mission. These dreams of deep space travel and living on the Moon are closer than one might think. In 2025, NASA plans to land humans on the surface of the Moon on a SpaceX lander for the first time in half a century as part of its Artemis 3 mission. They will land at a currently unselected site at the South Pole and directly prospect for ice for the first time. The main objectives for that mission are learning how to land and operate in the polar regions. There are many scientific reasons to explore the moon's south pole, too. Scientists are eager to solve the origin of the moon's water, which may have been erupted by ancient lunar volcanoes billions of years ago, delivered by asteroids or comets. Chandrayaan III may be just the start in answering these questions, and perhaps even living and working on the moon like never before. We're going to the moon to learn how to survive in the solar system and build a blueprint for exploring space. Thanks for watching the video.